went to Holt High School, and these fine young men and women here before you this afternoon. These students and this faculty that sit here before us this afternoon have made this an honor and privilege for me. Today, we celebrate the many accomplishments of this resilient and remarkable group of individuals here this afternoon. This group is approaching $5.1 million threshold for the value of their scholarships offered to this class. These accomplishments that we celebrate have made all of us thankful for the blessings that we have shared. At this time, I would ask you to please stand and ask the men to remove their caps as the senior members of the Holt High School Symphonic Band plays the national anthem. Graduation is a solemn and serious event marking a great accomplishment by these young men and young women. It is considered appropriate to applaud our graduates as their name is called. And I also remind our graduates of the expectations of courtesy and respect that I have made to you throughout your 4 years. I ask each of you to remember the seriousness as we proceed through this momentous occasion. We ask you to refrain from approaching the stage area during the ceremony, as official photographers will be taking photos of each graduate as they receive their diplomas. And I'd ask you to silence your phones. To open our program, our symphonic band will present Spitfire by Gary Gilroy. Our symphonic band is under the direction of Mr. Jim Cunningham. Please enjoy our outstanding symphonic band. Band. Thank you, Mr. Cunningham. I'd like to ask Katie Larkin to begin making her way up to the stage area. Katie is the student speaker this morning and will welcome all of you. She's the daughter of Craig and Kathy Larkin. She will attend the University of Nebraska and major in biochemistry with a focus on pre-medicine. Her activities have included cheerleading, swimming and diving team. She's been a state diving qualifier, key club, student council, Every Monday Matters. She was a finalist and won 3rd place in the International Science Competition in California recently. She's a Bright Flight Award winner, which means her ACT is over 30 composite. She finished her career at Holt High School with a 4.3333 grade point average and top of her class.
Welcome, friends, family, and graduates. To all our guests, I want to welcome you to a class who's not defined like all others. Holt's graduating class of 2011 is typical in that we're comprised of individuals who range from thespians, to athletes, to DECA members, to science fair participants, to class officers. Yet we are a group who do not allow activities to define or separate us. The class sitting before you is one which is an interconnected web of each and every person. Many of us have our main group of friends, but we also have companions in each area of the school. I myself have close friends who are cheerleaders, tennis players, early graduates, Stuco members, we all manage to find common ground and make lasting memories. Several of us also find ourselves as combinations such as football players who aspire to be accountants, band members who captain the swim team, and DECA All-Stars participating in science research. We are the class who will readily invite the new kid to sit at our lunch table. This distinct quality of tolerance and acceptance separates us from the classes that have gone before us and from those who will come after us. And it is this ability to work with and beside a variety of men and women that will lead to true success for each of us. Using this overwhelming broad-mindedness alongside the knowledge and determination we have gained in high school, we will each do something incredible. Welcome to the class of 2011. Thank you.
It is my pleasure and honor to introduce to you the Superintendent of Schools of the Wentzville R4 School District, Dr. Terry Adams. Dr. Adams is completing his 5th year as Superintendent of Schools here in our school district, and he's a great partner for the students of Holt High School. Dr. Terry Adams.
Thank you, Mr. Waters, and I would like to say good afternoon to the seniors. So here it is, and here it begins. Some of you are happy to put high school behind you, and some of you are sad that it's over. Most of you will go on to college, and some of you won't. But it's always good to remember that it's never too late to go back. Some of you will serve in the armed forces. Thank you. Some of you will become first responders. I thank you as well. Some of you will sell stocks, and some of you will stock shelves. Remember that nobility is in the work effort, not in the job title. You're a diverse group of individuals destined for a variety of interesting endeavors. Be proud of what you do and do it to the best of your abilities. But no matter what you do, remember this. Your educational journey is not ending, it's only beginning. There is a phrase, and if you've not yet heard it, let me be the first. Lifelong learners. As high school graduates in the 21st century, you will all need to be lifelong learners in order to adapt and succeed in our rapidly changing world. 21st century learners will use technologies that haven't been invented yet to do jobs that don't exist, to solve problems that we don't yet know about. The best new companies and the high-tech jobs around today didn't exist 7 years ago when you started middle school. The United States Department of Labor estimates that today's learner, and that's you, class of 2011, will have 10 to 14 jobs by the time you're 38 years old. And trust me, that will get here sooner than you think. So no matter what your career path, you must learn and relearn and then take a break, because soon you'll need to learn some more. Some of it will be intentional and some of it won't. Some of it will be intuitive, some of it will be adaptive, and some of it, I'm afraid to say, may be a bit painful. Always remember the words of Mike Ditka: success isn't permanent and failure isn't fatal. Learn and grow, and if you fall down, get back up. Embrace new technology. I know that might sound a little funny coming from a gray-haired grandpa, but if I can do it, surely you can. I have a fairly new cell phone, and I'd like to admit to you that just a few months ago I had no idea how it worked, but I've learned. I can now use my cell phone with a fair level of competency, and I'm downloading a new app as we speak. It's called something about old dogs and new tricks. But in the very near future, this phone will be obsolete, and I'll need to learn a new technology, or at least a new device again, in order to communicate effectively, and I certainly hope that's what I'm doing now. Maybe I should just text you this graduation speech, and you might pay more attention to your message. Some of you have already learned some things in just the past few minutes. These ropes are kind of stretchy, right? You've learned that. They're warm. You've learned that. Dr. Adams sure is a wise and funny man. You got that, right? And graduation ceremonies generally last way too long. I've learned something too. Keep these speeches short. So good luck, work hard, take pride in what you do, and learn, baby, learn.
Every graduation we've held, we have several students that have decided to enlist in the military. Would those students please stand and be recognized at this point? It is my pleasure to ask Mr. David Brothers to begin making his way up to the stage area. David is our faculty speaker chosen by the class officers. David has a Bachelor of Science in Mathematics from the University of Missouri, a Bachelor of Science in Education in Math Science Education from the University of Missouri, Columbia, a Master's in Education, University of Missouri. He's completing his 16th year in education. He spent 8 of those 16 years in the Fort Zumwalt School District, where we first met, and 8 years in the Wentzville School District. He's been a chemistry teacher. He's taught almost every course in the science department. He's our science department chair. He was the school district's teacher of the year in 2008, 2009. His partner is his wife, Anita, who's also an outstanding educator, and they have children, Matthew, Justin, Nicholas, Abigail, and Adam. It's my great pleasure to introduce my friend and outstanding teacher, David Brothers.
Mr. Waters, Dr. Adams, members of the Board of Education, honored stage guests, colleagues, family, friends, and of course graduates, it's my honor to be able to speak before you today. When I thought about what I should tell you, what I'd like to share with you, one word came to mind. That word was unless. You see, I started off the school year with my AP Environmental Science class by reading the story The Lorax by Dr. Seuss. And I thought it fitting to kind of share a little bit with you about that story. It's a story of a little boy, the Onceler, and the Lorax. This little boy came walking along this gray, barren, dark, dreary, polluted landscape. Lots of decrepit buildings there. By one of those buildings was a rock, and carved on that rock was the word unless. The Onceler lived up there, and he started to chat with the little boy. He told the little boy the story of the Onceler, how the Onceler once drove into this land, and how beautiful it was, how blue the sky was, all the living creatures that were there. Well, in that land were these things called truffula trees. And you know, truffula trees are great for making needs. And needs are something that everybody needs. So he stopped, he set up shop, and he started to cut down truffula trees. Well, needs, something that everybody needs, everybody bought. He built a bigger factory. He started cutting down some more truffula trees. About then the Lorax came along for his first chat with the Onceler and said, I am the Lorax and I speak for the trees. And you see those brown barbaloops out there? They need those trees. The Onceler kind of laughed at the Lorax and kind of pushed him aside. And the Lorax said, well, I'm going to have to send the brown barbaloops away. They can't live here anymore without those trees. Time moved on, people needed more needs, more truffula trees were cut down. But you see, the air and the water became more polluted. The air was gray. Lorax came along and sent the swami swans and hummingfish away as well. Finally, at the end, there was a sound. It was the sound of the last truffula tree being cut down. Well, you see, without truffula trees, there can't be any more needs or jobs or anything like that. So what was left of this barren landscape, gray, smoggy, smoky, no one would live there. What was left was a Onceler and a decrepit building. Well, the Onceler telling this story to the little boy, he handed down a seed. You see, that was a seed to the very last truffula tree plant. And the Lorax said to the little boy, unless someone like you cares a whole awful lot, nothing's going to change. It just cannot. Wow, what a powerful statement that is. I charge you to do exactly the same thing. Make a difference. Make a difference every single day, even if it's insurmountable. Make a difference. Well, how do you do that? Good question. It might seem impossible to change the world, to make a difference in the world. But think about it a different way. Make a difference. Make a change in yourself. And perhaps your family and your friends will see that and make a difference and make a change themselves as well. And perhaps their friends, their family starts making a difference. And those groups of people influence the whole town to make a difference, to make a change. And that town influences a state and a nation to make a difference and make a change. And then perhaps that nation influences the world to change and make a difference. That's doable, that's possible. Another one of my favorite stories, and I've shared with some of you before, it's the story of the starfish. See, another little boy was walking along a beach and saw some starfish there. He reached down, picked one up, threw it back in the ocean. Walked along, picked another one, threw it back in the ocean. Walked along, picked another one, threw it in the ocean, because he knew that if he didn't do that, the starfish would die. An old man was watching that. He came over, laughed at the boy, said, "Son, what are you doing? Why are you bothering? You can't possibly hope to save all of them." The boy thought for just a moment. Reached down, picked another starfish up, and threw it back in the ocean. He looked up at that old man and said, "You know what? I made a difference to that one." Never underestimate the power of one kind word. One act of kindness can do one for anybody. That one kind word, that one act of kindness can matter to that one. An unknown author once said, "Never get tired of doing little things for others. It's those little things that might occupy the biggest part of their heart." I live my life that way, and I hope that you do the same. Think about all the people that you admire the most, that you care about, that you love. I bet they made a difference to you. Now think for a minute about that word I asked you to remember. Unless. Unless you, who? Unless now. When? Unless you do, unless you try, unless you hope, unless you change, unless you make a difference. Unless you will. Graduates, know that your teachers, your family, your friends, your principals are all here. We support you. We care about you. We want the world for you. Know that we know that if we didn't make a difference, if we didn't care about you, you wouldn't be sitting right where you are now. Do me a favor. Do that for everybody you're around. Graduates, congratulations, and remember, unless. Thank you.
Counselors, principals, Board of Education members, please move into position for diploma.
Zachary Charles Hayes. Shawn Michael Taylor. Beverly Michelle Terry. Jonathan Michael Tetley. Michael Zachariah T.G. Stephen Patrick Thomas. Caitlin
2011 has much to be proud of. We would consider our class to be one of the most well-rounded classes that Holt has ever seen, and being comprised of students participating in nearly all clubs and activities offered. Our class has just begun to show its capabilities. The students of this class not only participated in the activities, but exceeded expectations, thriving under pressure and overcoming challenges to want to set records and accomplish great tasks. We feel grateful for what Holt has taught us from our first day to our last.
As freshmen, we were young, innocent, and naive. We first experienced the ways of the school as Mr. Bias taught us the spirit chant, even though we were moved by the upperclassmen. We learned to always wear our ID badges in the history hallway to avoid being hassled by Miss Simmons. That year was also our first year to dress up and attend the homecoming dance. Being freshmen, we thought we were too cool for school. But looking back, we realized we were wrong. We have since then learned how the school operates and to always leave room for Mr. Waters when dancing with our date. As high school continued, we learned great lessons from our building principal and the entire faculty.
Now as seniors, we not only see our teachers as role models, but as friends that have helped us along the way. Many of these teachers possess qualities that helped our day-to-day routine be a little bit more tolerable. From Mr. Walter Rapping, Mr. Ernst Monster Habit, we have grown fond of our many crazy teachers. As we have matured, we have grown to see not only our strict, authoritative side of our teachers, but our loving and nurturing side. No matter how many sarcastic remarks Ms. Petrus has to throw our way. As much as we have enjoyed watching our teachers in class, they seem to have enjoyed watching us also. As seniors, we step into our leadership roles by taking pride in our school. With constant chants of "This is our house" at sporting events, and always dominating the spirit chant, we have shown our spirit of champions.
Take this spirit wherever you go as you move on with your lives. Keep the memories of Holt close to your hearts. Never forget the crowded hallways, friendly faces, Friday night games, unique personalities, hours and hours of homework, championship hockey games, state competitions, or your loyalty to Holt. We do not know what the future holds, but the potential of this senior class is astounding, and our diversity is what makes us great. Whether you've been in the district for 13 years or joined in along the way, take pride in calling yourself a Holt Indian. This is the last time we will all be together, so please stand as we leave you with one final question. Please stand. Class of 2011, do you love your Indians deep down in your hearts? How deep? How deep?
Say two things to the class of 2011. I want you to stay close to your family and friends. They are a huge reason why you're here today. Do not, and you've heard that tone a few times from me, do not forget to tell them that you love them today. And I ask you to give your children in the future a better world than we gave to you. I ask you to temper your striving for material success, for the glitter of things, with the drive to overcome injustice and misery that still stalk our nation and our planet. Go green. Be steadfast. Be strong. And always be of good cheer. I want you to know how proud I am that I was your high school principal. You mean so much to me. You are the true pride of Holt High School. So I give you one bit of last John Waters building principal advice. Go out and lead. Go out into the world and lead. Read, whether it's a book or a Kindle. Stand up and don't ever not stand up for what is right. Raise your kids with the right stuff. Your school, and it's still your school, and it will always be your school, salutes you deep, deep, down, down, deep down from all our hearts. I remind our class that their diplomas are not in their diploma cup. We'd ask you to go to the staging area underneath these bleachers, your left, my right. Your counselors will be there. Please don't make them wait till tonight. And I would ask the class of 2011 to please honor our honored guests by allowing them to process out at this time and thank them appropriately for coming today. Your teachers will, as the stage folks are leaving the arena, once they're past you, your teachers will then stand, and the symbolicness of that is that you now will be on your own. And then after the teachers process out, parents, I will ask you to get your cameras ready for the photo moment of the throwing of the caps.